Hello everyone and thank you for joining me. Today I will be trying to do a drawing with another pen from OHTO, the Tasche. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, also known as FF10T, if you know the name. This is another Japanese fountain pen that I personally like. It's a pocket fountain pen. As you can see, it is quite small. All metal construction as far as I know, with a very shiny paint job that pretty much picks up any fingerprints. So while I did clean it before trying to make this video, probably by the end of the video, the intro video, it will be covered in, fingerprints. Tiny pen, it's just as long as my pointer finger in there. Decent clip on it, should work just fine. It's a pull-push cap, a little bit of a click in there. Once you remove it, a very long section, a very tiny barrel, if you can actually call that a barrel, and a very tiny pen. Actually, if you're trying to write with it, it might work for very quick notes and smaller hands, but it will definitely not work for everybody. At the end of the barrel, we do have some sort of an O-ring in there, and that helps secure the barrel in place. And once you actually post it, the pen gets a pretty decent length and usable. Actually, even for drawing, it's quite perfect, at least for me, since I tend to keep it a little bit higher up. I pretty much hold it from the cap, if you want to consider that. To fill it up, unfortunately, as far as I know, there is no converter that will fit this pen. You can only use the small international converter in there. I managed to find one on black. I don't know what kind of black it is, but that's the one that I will be using. All you have to do is put it there, push it until you hear the click, and then wait for it until it gets ink in the nib, and you're good to go. And this is the pen. I've used it a couple of times in the past, not as much as I would have probably wanted. The nib is no branded nib. I didn't look at a nib yet. And no branded feed. It just says iridium point. Almost sounds like a Chinese nib. Which is nothing wrong with it as long as it works fine, right? And yeah, I never really had any issues with the nib. And that's it. Let me go get a writing sample with it. And then we'll do a drawing. Okay, writing sample. Well, the ink, unknown. I have no idea where the cartridge came from, but I guess that's kind of a bad thing too, because I do like the ink. It is kind of a black grayish color, especially more of a grayish when I when I was drawing with it, and I was using the off-white cotton paper that I usually been using this year. Writing sample. Nib worked absolutely fine, no issues in there, no complaints. The only complaint that I have with this pen, and this kind of goes for any fountain pen that usually it's using a cartridge, or I'm forced to use a cartridge with, it took forever to actually get the ink flowing through the nib. I was running out of patience, and I actually end up grabbing the pen, putting it in a paper towel and start actually shaking it so I can force the ink out of the pen. And even then, it kind of annoyed me. It took a little bit until it actually started writing. As you've seen in the writing sample, it fooled me in believing that it was going to write, but then it stopped writing again, so I had to shake it again. And eventually it finally started working. So this specific pen, in my case, because of the cartridge use, it took a little bit for it to actually get going. But Once you're past that initial step, I had no issues with the nib. It worked pretty decent. It seems that it does have some issues keeping up with quick movements. As you've seen me doing the flourishing, there was some skipping. But normal writing, even when your letters are fairly large, I had no issues with it. At least not in my case. I didn't use it unposted. I think it would have been quite annoying. This is the type of fountain pen that I will always use posted, but that's not a big deal because, well, it does come with a cap. One thing that I forgot to mention when I was showing the pen at the beginning is that I like the idea that they have with the O-ring. It keeps the cap securely posted on that tiny barrel. But because it's not a basically perfect fit over the barrel or that knob at the end, and is the actual O-ring that keeps it in place, that does create a little bit of movement side to side. The cap won't come off easily, but it will move slightly side to side. I didn't find that as an issue. It doesn't really bother me. It doesn't stop me from using it or liking it, but it's noticeable that I think it's better to say it, especially since after I did the video, I went online on eBay, where I originally got it from, and see for how much these pens sell. And if you can still find them, and yes, you can still find them, but apparently they are out of production, and they kind of get now into the expensive side of things, especially if you're a collector. I would say, looks like I'm sitting on a gold mine in here. The cheapest version of the pen that I found in Canadian dollars was at around 100 Canadian dollars. Per pen. I don't remember how much I actually paid. Maybe it was like 30-40 Canadian dollars back in the day, but I definitely did not pay 100 Canadian dollars back then. These used to be fairly cheap. Now, anywhere between 100 to 200 Canadian dollars as of today. Is it worth it? I'll leave that decision to you. Obviously, if you are a collector and you must have one, and you have the money, why not? If not, you probably can buy better pens or better pocket fountain pens at that price range. Personally, I'm happy to have it, and I don't think I'll add another pen in my collection anytime soon. What you might want to consider is that Moonman did kind of a copy of this fountain pen. However, that one, it's a larger pen, it's a heavier pen, it's not as cute and neat as this one, and it's maybe not as pocketable. And while it's using kind of the same idea and mechanism of posting the cap using that O-ring, the side-to-side movement on that pen, as far as I remember, was a little bit more than it is on this pen. It's not as a perfect fit as it is on this pen. I never got around to look at that pen. Hopefully I'll get around in a week or two. I want to put some distance between them, this way I don't have the same pen in essence reviewed. But yeah, I'll get around that pen by the end of the year, let's put it that way. I hope, maybe. With all that aside, the pen is actually to me very pleasant to use. I like it. Didn't really had any issues. Now that I am working with it again, one thing that I would probably personally change is the nib. Not because there are any issues really with it. It is a fine nib and it works as a fine nib. As a matter of fact, when I was doing the drawing, I kind of liked how it was working. It felt like I was working with a HB pencil on the paper. Because of the cotton paper that I'm using, the nib felt more drier, so it took me longer to build up the lines. The drawing turned out to be fairly simple, not very complicated, but it took me a long time to do it because of the layering effect and the multiple passes that I had to do. That, I guess, could also be an issue with the ink. However, on normal paper, the Muji paper that I use as an example, and even some of the dollar store or Dollarama notebooks from Vietnam, I believe, are the ones that I'm using. The flow is actually pretty good. I had no issues with the writing thing. This was the first drawing that I did with a pen, and I did enjoy it. I do like the knee, but I'm still tempted, going back to what I started from, I'm still tempted to maybe change the knee with something else. I'm thinking that maybe a Schmidt nib might work very nice. It's something like we have on the Muji aluminum fountain pen, or I don't know, something that it's a little bit more on brand. Now that this fountain pen is a little bit expensive nowadays, a little bit more on brand and not something generic that seems to come from China. Not there's anything wrong with it. China makes some beautiful fountain pen nibs that I do like and I do enjoy, and I have no problem recommending them. I'm just trying to what is it called? What is the term? I'm just trying to frost my fountain pen, if that's the right term or not. Bottom line, beautiful fountain pen. If you have it in your collection, don't just give it away. They seem to be pretty expensive nowadays. Keep it in there. Who knows? Maybe in 2 years, maybe in 20 years from now, you could sell for $1 million. No, probably not. I'm just joking here. But if you have it, don't give it away unless you really like the person you give it away to. If you don't have it, I don't know what to tell you. Look at the Moonman version. It's not the same, but it's close enough. In the end, definitely a beautiful fountain pen. I like it. I like the form factor that it has. Nib could have been better, but then again, back then probably they was trying to build a cheap fountain pen, not a luxurious fountain pen. Can be replaced with a number 5 nib. I'm thinking about a Schneeb, but maybe that's a story for another day. Bottom line, love it, recommend it if you can afford it. I love the drawing that I did with it, which I don't know what it is. I don't know what to call it. Is it falling? Is it hanging? What I do like is that parrot kind of a head that I did on this thing. So it's kind of a bird, of a monster, of a thing. Anyway, ramblings. I'll stop there just to be on the safe side. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time. And I obviously, as always, wish you nothing but the best and a wonderful day or night, whatever you are. Take care. Bye.